Hey, this is Vanessa Marshall. I play Hera Syndulla on Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to the 1313 podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 1313 podcast, the most mediocre podcast in the Star Wars universe. I'm Jacob.
I'm Jackson.
I'm Tommy.
And today we are joined by none other than Vanessa Marshall. Woo!
Hey, everybody. I'm Vanessa Marshall. I play Hera Syndulla on Star Wars Rebels. You can also catch me as Wonder Woman on the new Harley Quinn Season 4 on HBOmax and various other superheroes and I think 122 video games. So I'm grateful to be here. I think we're Star Wars family first and foremost, but you can Google me.
So we have, once again, many questions to go over. Not many, but we like to start it off easy. We usually have like this lightning round, and we're gonna kill it off with that. So starting off,
sure.
What is your favorite Star Wars character?
What is my favorite Star Wars character?
Correct.
Yes.
Asajj Ventress.
Really?
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Any reason?
Because she's mercenary, and I would have loved to have seen what happened if she had spent more time with Ahsoka. I think we could have got her over on our team. I do, but we'll never know. And I'm so sad.
Read Dark Disciple?
Did I what?
Did you read the Dark Disciple book? Because they
no, don't. Shh, no, can't.
Don't say anything.
No, I can't. No, I can't. I just can't. I heard that it doesn't go well for her in that book, so I it's by my bed, and I can't. I just can't.
It's one of those where it's not technically as canon as the stuff on screen. So
okay, all right.
Comics and books before.
I would say next is Aura Singh, also because I like these mercenary characters. Boba Fett is, of course, but I also have an affection for Plo Koon. I have been campaigning for him to come back to life. It's not really working. Dave Filoni said that George himself said, "No, I'm sorry. Order 66 took care of him." So, oh well. Anyway.
Dang.
I know, but first and foremost, Asajj Ventress. I just love her.
Very cool.
It's a good pick.
I was going to say, kind of after that, for the next kind of brief thing that we had, although you did work on Rebels, do you have kind of like a sweet spot for a Star Wars show somewhere else besides that?
Well, I also enjoyed playing Rook Cast, Darth Maul's minion, in the last season of the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I got to play a Mandalorian. I kind of feel like my life is complete at that point. Mando for life. Let's go. Yeah, that definitely was a sweet spot. And of course, it was fun to bring Hera back as a younger version in the Bad Batch. That was a real privilege. And then I was in my first Star Wars role was Jan Ors in Jedi Knights, I believe the game is, and that was fun many years ago. But yeah,
that's super cool. So actually, one of my questions that I had for you was, what was that like when they reached out to you about a young Hera Syndulla being in the Bad Batch? I'm doing a rewatch of the Bad Batch with my girlfriend's watching it for the first time right now.
Oh, cool!
We just watched those episodes, and I looked at her and I was like, "Hey, this character is going to be in the Ahsoka show, and it's one of the main Rebels characters." So was that exciting when they kind of reached out to you for that?
Oh, definitely. They said, "Do you think you could do it?" And I was like, "Absolutely. I've played little girls and little boys, and I do all sorts of voices, and I'm very well versed in different dialects thanks to a master's in acting at NYU. I don't recommend graduate school for acting. I kind of feel like you either know what you're doing or you don't. But so I was up for the challenge, and it was so much fun to find just how much of the Ryloth accent we wanted to layer in there to demonstrate what she pulled out, and also how naive was she meant to be, how earnest and young, given who she becomes, what creates the most interesting contrast, or where do you find the seeds of that's the Hera Syndulla we know, that even back then you saw bits of that, despite her sort of discovering who she is as a teen, as all teens have to. But that was a really cool process. And yeah, oh my gosh, it was completely unexpected. I sort of thought like, well, Rebels is over. I'll just be a lonely nerd. And so that gave me another chance to explore. It was great.
Awesome. Yeah, oh, my bad. I kind of had something on that too. So, because that's an interesting point that you brought up as well, was talking about when you were a much younger Hera for the Bad Batch, developing the like Ryloth accent itself. And now from watching the Visions team work on season 2, how the Twi'leks are most represented to be almost of like the French, was when you were Hera originally, we saw you revisit Ryloth and the Ryloth accent, as you called it. But is there some like main inspiration that like members of Ryloth like have like almost a French accent, you would say? Like, was that something you came up with the character? Or?
Oh no, that's a thing for the Ryloth accent, and that was established by Oren Frita. Phil Lamar voiced Oren Frita in Clone Wars, and Chom Syndulla, Hera's father, Robin Atkin Downs. They both exhibited that Ryloth accent, and so it was interesting. When I was on my way to the first record session, they said, you're either going to do all of this in a French accent or you're not. And I was like, on the way there, I was like, whoa, what? Oh, okay. All right. Bonjour, je m'appelle Vanessa Marshall. I was just like, wait, whoa, dude, that's a whole other prep. Great, let's go. And then the other weird thing, when we did the shorts, I got there and I was like, gosh, is there a script? And they said, oh yeah, well, we sent it to you. I said, you did? I never got it. So I basically did a cold read and had no clue what the heck I was doing. And I was like, well, that was fun. Like, because I like to prepare things. I like to research. I like to really practice getting a feel for the words in my mouth and making them as authentic as possible and all this kind of stuff. And it's a real lesson. And sometimes you just suit up, show up, and speak English out loud and trust that you're meant to be there. And luckily it panned out. So
very cool. Yeah. I think that's probably one of my favorite things about a lot of the Star Wars shows is that the characters have so many little facets to them, and you learn more about them as the show progresses.
Right.
Little detail where they go back to Ryloth and Hera's arguing with Chom, and she starts to get that accent back a little bit when she's arguing. I think that's just a really good touch. Little things like that make a huge difference when you're like a Star Wars super fan,
Right. Yeah. That you would understand that nuance for sure. And, I've told this before, so forgive me if you've heard it, but one day I got a text from Filoni saying, which is like, that in of itself is like, wow. Okay. Well, you're complete. I mean, you're good. But, you get a text from, please, dude. Anyway, but he said, do you think Hera would ever speak with a Ryloth accent? I said, only if she was angry. And by that, I mean, it was a strategy for her to unlearn that accent. And it would have to take an emotion like anger that is like a cauldron boiling over for her to go back to her roots and speak in that accent because she is so angry. Whoops. Like for a second, she forgot her strategy. For a minute, she was 13 again. For a minute, her dad pissed her off so much that a lot of my Southern friends, when they go home, they do the same thing. When they start arguing with their cousins, it's just like, y'all better, whatever it is. But when they're in LA, they're trying to be sort of more down the middle. But when they get pissed off, they just like, stuff comes out.
Very
so,
cool.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because Dave Filoni is such, especially among Star Wars fans, a prolific director.
And my gosh. He's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
He's very concise with what he wants. I wanted to know how much of Hera came from you. Was it a ton of direction mostly given by Dave to you? How much of the character did you get to create?
I think I brought my soul to this one. I think what you hear is the best part of me. I struggle with being human. I struggle with being afraid, with most of the things that I think we all struggle with. Adulting is not fun. Adulting is really annoying. And, you know, the pandemic was not so much. And so I can be easily swayed off the mission, if you will, wondering, overthinking, taking something personally. I shouldn't have said this, blah, 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 you know, all that kind of stuff that makes all of us human. That struggle, I feel like Hera places out of that, or she values the formation of the Rebel Alliance so much that those petty concerns fall to the wayside quite easily. So I imagined what it would be like if I led with the best part of myself. You know, I have a friend who says I never project positively. And she said, I woke up one morning and considered that as much as I say, oh, this isn't going to go right, what is this thing? It's never going to happen, blah, 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 that just as much as things could go south, they could go better than we imagined. And she said, I decided one day to just wake up and assume the best and get it. And I just thought, that seems like what Hera does. Like, she just doesn't pollute her mind with any of that human stuff. And granted, she's Twi'lek, so whatever. But, you know, but yes, I believe that it's the best parts of myself that I brought to the microphone that I wish I could live in 24 hours a day. And I learned from playing the character that I'm stronger than I think I am, and I can own that. And when I do that, I give other women permission to do the same. And that's what women who have been at the microphone before me have done. And I think it's a beautiful thing that we can pay it forward. Nothing meant more to me than when I was writing. I had a column in the Star Wars Insider magazine, and I would get these letters from fathers who finally were able to take their Star Wars action figures out of storage and bond with their daughters. And they thanked me and said, please let Tia Sircar know how much it means to me that my daughter has these two strong female characters to look up to. It's sort of the mom energy of Hera and the questing artistic rebel that is Tia. And it was beautiful to me that fathers could spend so much time with their daughters, and that I would have any part in that in terms of her setting an example really moved me. And of course, it's not about me. It's about Dave Filoni and Lucasfilm and George Lucas. No, do you know what I mean? Like, this space opera was set in motion long ago, but I was really, I felt so lucky to have influenced the way families can spend time together, because I think that's really important. So
that's super, super amazing. I'm really glad to hear that. But going with that, it does sound like you have so much Hera. Hera is a part of you.
Yeah.
And you're her. So with her coming into live action next week, did you have anything to do with how that process went? Were you allowed to give notes on things like Hera, how she should be when it transferring to live action? Or were you asked even to play her in live action?
No. No, I'm a voiceover actress. So I was 100% a part of the animated show and had nothing to do with the on camera. And of course I support the actors. We are on strike, and the contract that's being negotiated is the on camera contract. So we're not supposed to talk about or promote things. I mean, you have to know that as this massive Star Wars nerd in front of you, I am exceedingly thrilled for the content that is forthcoming, and I will just sort of leave it there. I really, really love and respect the actress who is going to take this character to the next level. And, you know, much like I've played Wonder Woman and other people have played Wonder Woman, and we all love one another and hope that we can help continue to tell these amazing stories with these, like I said, iconic female characters. That we sort of wish one another well and are grateful that we were a part of this iteration or that iteration, you know. And there are many people who have played King Lear or Viola or, you know, any of these characters in Shakespeare, and no one actor can lay claim to anything. So I think it's beautiful that this story is so dynamic that it can be passed around in that way. And I mean, if it's going to be passed to anyone, if it's Obi-Wan Kenobi's wife, I mean, we are so good.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, bro, I heard the name and I was like, we are so good. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited, and I wish the show all the best. And again, I do hope that the actor strike ends so we can all talk about it more thoroughly and really lift it up and give it the praise and promotion it deserves. I don't believe legally I'm allowed to do anything further than that. So,
well, thank you for saying that much.
Yeah.
Something that I think is really, really special, and on our podcast we mentioned this a lot, is you can tell the difference right away of an actor who is a fan of Star Wars versus an actor who's on a show or a project or whatever who is just entering Star Wars. You know, I have a big appreciation for I have a big appreciation for, you know, bringing more people into the Star Wars family, as we call it.
Sure.
But it's super, super cool to know that actors and actresses who are on these projects are already such big fans. And it really, like in Rosario Dawson's case too, like that was a huge step for her in Mando season 2. She was already such a big Star Wars fan. She was able to slide into Ahsoka's shoes. And I remember I actually talked to her over Twitter after that episode came out. I had just tweeted something like, I think it was awesome that she played one of my childhood favorite characters to a T. And we got to share a little exchange. She thought that was awesome because that's all she wanted to do was be faithful to the character. So it is going to be really cool to see that same energy.
Yeah, absolutely. I am so excited, and I really, I mean, had I been asked to play, of course I would have. I mean, I have a master's in acting from NYU, as I said, and I once did pursue on-camera acting and could have, but I no longer have an on-camera agent, and I just don't really function in that world. So it's not clear to me if that was ever even really a possibility. But either which way, again, look, man, I just want to know, where's Ezra? I want to know, you know what I mean? Like, I have some questions, and like, Jason, bro, does he grow the brain tails? Like, I just need, is he force sensitive? Like, I have a lot of things I need to know, and I'm just grateful as a nerd that I hopefully am going to get those questions answered. So like, we're good, you know?
But yeah. So one of the other things, speaking on, like you said, you've done a ton of video games. It was really cool to see you in Star Wars Squadrons.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was, yeah, that was amazing. That was a very different process. That was more of an on-camera process insofar as I had to memorize the lines, and you know, we were on a sound stage. Oh, it was so much fun. It was great.
Hera specifically has been everywhere since Rebels came out. I know that the Ghost has made appearances in Rogue One and Skywalker, and there's the line mentioning Hera in Rogue One. Like,
General Syndulla. Yeah, it's great.
I do want to say you are 100% the reason why I even got Star Wars Squadrons. Because I remember there was that the game was coming out, and we were in a phase where we were still playing the game Star Wars Battlefront 2, and we were quite content with that game. We were like, it looks cool, maybe we'll get it. And then a trailer came out, and Hera was in it for like a second, and we lost our minds. And then we were like, we have to get it.
Great.
So that's the reason why we got that game, was just because you were in it.
Well, like I said, this is my streaming studio here where I'm going to be streaming, and I'm going to play Squadrons as Hera. And I'm going to start on Wednesday nights from 6 to 9 Pacific time. And I have this little couch back here, and I'm going to invite my fellow Star Wars female voiceover actresses for Women Crush Wednesday. And we're going to hang out and attempt to play. First up, I hope, is Kari Walgren. We're going to try and play Mortal Kombat. I play Shiva in Mortal Kombat, and we're in that video game together. We're also in Injustice 2. I play Black Canary. I want to play her in that. And I'm in the Marvel Midnight Suns game. I play the caretaker who gives you your order. She's sort of an older kind of grumpy lady. But that game is intense, bro. I tried and I was like, I'm having a nervous breakdown, and it's a little evil. It's a little dark. Like, I'm cool with Sith stuff, but like some of this like Mephistopheles like devil action, I'm like, whoa, bro, Diablo. No. Anyway, I tried and I will try again, but my hope is to have Courtney Taylor over. We're in all the Mass Effect games, and that we'll just hang out. I've got my fridge over here full of Monster ready for us to just amp ourselves out of control. I don't have a Monster sponsorship, but I'm just saying that we'll get to hang out here and nerd out together on Wednesdays. And then hopefully I'll add another night that would be more sort of Star Wars focused. And I want to play Jan Ors and some of the older Star Wars games, and maybe have Sam Witwer and Freddie join me, most likely virtually because they're all over the world and busy. But anyway, I'm really excited. I showed you guys before we started that I have my 11th grade mullet shot here. There's also this one. Wait, hold on. That's me. I don't know what. My mom got that framed for my birthday, and there's like magenta eyeshadow. It's horrifying. But I think it's exactly the vibes I'm going for. That it's just like, I don't know, bro. It's kind of 80s up in here, and like the best part of the 80s, like just really going for it and not even thinking about anything other than having fun. So there you have it. To promote my Women Crush Wednesday, I invite everyone. You can find me on Twitch, Vanessa Marshall 1138, not 1313, but 1138. Close, but almost, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And hopefully we can all continue to hang out there. So
that sounds like so much fun. I'm definitely going to tune in for that. That sounds
right on. Yeah. And I put a whole merch store together, and I've got I've got candles with my mullet shot, and it says worship the mullet. Worship the mullet. I'm not trying to promote idolatry or anything, but I'm just saying.
We are also lucky enough. Somebody who watches us made candles of us too. But
dude, I need that. I need that.
So these just they kind of they used to be on the table, and we would have them lit during recording. But then we were like,
yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'll get some of my merch. I'll have the mullet candle burning at all hours.
I'm getting the mullet candle.
Is the merch store open?
Not yet. We're launching soon. I was able to I did an event with DreamHack. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but hold on. One sec. For DreamHack San Diego, they gave us this as like a little take home gift I played Blindfold Tekken tournament. That was quite interesting. I mean, I'm good at Street Fighter. I think it's is it Cammy?
I'm not familiar with Street Fighter.
Oh, okay. Anyway, or there's Chun-Li also. A friend of mine plays pretty well. But anyway, yeah. So I participated in a bunch of events with them in San Diego, and we raised I think $41,000 for the Autism Society, and then I went down to Dallas for them and hosted a bunch of activations. It was the launch of the Diablo game that weekend, and all the voice actors were there who were in the game, and we did panels and interviews and stuff like that, and signed autographs and raised money for the American Heart Association. And then another event that I did, and I'll be done in a second here, is for the Metal Gear Solid IP. We a fan funded event called Metal Gear MGS Con, Metal Gear Solid Con, happened here in LA, and we raised a bunch of money for the Wounded Warrior Project. And after the pandemic, I am just sick of being by myself. And if I can continue to host these things at these esports events and help people remember that they're loved and that they matter, and the value of fun and being together. I can't tell you how awesome it was to be. There were 44,000 people at DreamHack San Diego, and no one was wearing masks, and no one I know got sick, thank God. And I know there might be a resurgence now, but it just means the world to be together with people. And, man, dude, like, I didn't know if that was ever going to happen again. It was pretty scary. So anyway, anything I can do to have fun and pay it forward, that's my brand up in here with my mullet. So those are the vibes. Those are the vibes. I mean, I'm still doing voiceover. I've got video games coming out and new cartoons and stuff like that. But in my spare time, I hope to open. We're going to launch. I think we're launching soft launch next week, and definitely in September the merch store will be up, and I'll have a YouTube page where all the live streams will populate. And I don't know, you guys, why not? Right? Who cares? Just go for it. Right?
I'm getting the candle. I got it.
100%. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We'll definitely plug it on our end. We'll definitely,
as soon as we see that, it'll be all over.
I'll wear the merch on the
Thanks,
show.
buddy. Thanks, buddy. Likewise, I want to put your candles in here. Yeah, seriously.
The candles are one of one, as far as I know.
But
okay.
I'll send them to you. We don't use them.
Or at least send me a picture so I can post it and pay homage or something. Yeah.
Just the creator candle quarter.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool though. That's we just went and saw Oppenheimer, the three of us, like a week ago, and I had said to these guys, I was like, man, things are really starting to feel like 2019 again, like before everything happened. Like before, it's like I'm starting to forget about it. I think, like it's
I am
fresh on
too.
my mind.
I mean, I do hear like people post these photos of like positive COVID tests, and I go, oh God.
Yeah.
Someone was just, I'm going to, as far as Comic-Cons go, I have FAIRFAX Comic-Con next weekend, the 26th and 27th in Virginia. I'll be there, and someone said that they just went to an event in Virginia and they had like the worst case of COVID. I'm like, oh, cool. Great. Yeah. Then I'm going to be in Tampa, Florida for, I think, something called SPOOKALA, something like this, which I'm such a scaredy cat. Like I said, like I'm down with the Sith struggle, because the Sith struggle is nuanced, buddy. It's, Darth Vader looks like a scary dude, but he has abandonment issues and he misses his mom. So, you know what I mean? It's just how he processes his abandonment. And he's not just a jerk. He's been injured. It's intense. But some of these like Spook LA or Spookala, I don't know, they're more on the gore side of things. And I'm just like, oh gosh, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But but I'll be,
if you are into scary things at all, or like mildly into it, there's a wonderful, wonderful novel around Star Wars. It's called Star Wars Death Troopers. And it's
yes.
It's about the Sith unleashed zombie virus.
See, that's cool. I'm down with that. Last of Us, all over it. Like the Saw movies, hard pass. Yeah.
Yeah, Saw's a little hard to watch, but my goal is because I am going to the same school that Mr. Dave Filoni went to. I want to be with him, and I want to make the Death Troopers book into a movie or something like that, because out into everything. We got visions that's touching every single culture and different ways of storytelling. We have live action, we have animation. I'm like, let's get a new genre in there. Let's get some horror. So I would love to do that.
Great idea. That's a great idea. Yeah. I'm going to be in Savannah, Georgia, I think end of September, at SuperCon, I believe it is. And then I'm going to be in Arizona with Freddie and Tia and Taylor and Mary Elizabeth. That's the UWU Con in Mesa, Arizona, October 26th, I think. So if anyone listening is in any of those places, hopefully come say hello. We can high five and have like a post-pandemic shout out.
Yeah, because I was going to say, speaking of the cons as well, so that's how Jacob and I here were able to meet you originally, is that we went to ICC.
That's right.
This crew as well. Tommy, unfortunately, could not make it for the trip.
Because I work.
Yep. Big boy who's working now, unfortunately, with adulting that you're mentioning. But if you have the opportunity to meet any of the amazing Rebels actors and actresses, you got to do it. You got to do it. It was such an amazing experience.
Wasn't that a great weekend? That was so magical, truly.
it especially for us, because we
Yeah.
not only because the only con we ever did before is we have one in our local town, which is like semi big, but we had a
It's
booth.
newer.
We had a booth at it, just like kind of like to support our show.
Right.
ICC, we got invited to go, and you guys were the first Star
Oh.
Wars people we ever met. So it's like a
Wow.
combination of the two. It's gonna be something I'm gonna remember for like the rest of my life.
Yeah,
So
likewise. I had so much fun. I had so much fun. I mean, we have let's see, we're going to I think Arizona together, and I think there are a bunch of people in Tampa, if I'm not mistaken. I know Freddie's in Tampa, and so's Taylor. I don't think Tia can join, but I don't know. We're gonna, and next year we have a bunch of events that we're going to. I believe it's the Rebels 10-year anniversary next year, so we'll be going all over the place, which will be lovely. And hopefully, I'll be in Pennsylvania at some point. We'll have to, catch up and hang. So
yeah, definitely.
awesome.
Do you want to jump into another question here?
All right. This is one I've been saving since ICC. This was a heavily debated issue for us on the podcast, especially with the release of Ahsoka. And the topic is the world between worlds, where we see
Ooh.
Ezra go back in to grab Hera, and
Or
now
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
Stupid.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But we've really been trying to like come up with our idea of that, and we wanted to ask you what your thoughts on what the world between worlds is, and if you personally think that it creates some sort of multiverse then within Star Wars, or if it's just like its own thing.
I have thought about this for years now. And much like I said, I have like 4 favorite Star Wars characters. I have like a million questions and 0 answers to postulate exactly what it means. It is so profound. And the way they executed all of those possibilities visually for us to contemplate boggles my soul. Unreal what they did with that animation and the possibilities that are suggested there. So I'm not sure that I can provide any clarity.
That's all right.
But yes, I think it gives me hope. I mean, Qui-Gon gave me hope. When Qui-Gon came back, I was like, okay, Plo Koon could join us. I'm just saying, like it could happen. And and then I believe it was season 5 of the Clone Wars when Yoda goes into that they're the faces of death, or they're the
he goes into that like realm and like learns about,
yeah. I mean, there were all sorts of questions for that portion of exactly how the Star Wars universe functions. And there have been several now that I think about it, even back in the Clone Wars. But the world between worlds was the most elegant expression of possibility I have ever seen. So it has made me more curious than certain.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's something that we actually just did a whole episode on
the
world between worlds like 2 weeks ago, and we were debating about like the idea of it making a multiverse in Star Wars, and that's funny though that you would think that being on the show that this stuff would be disclosed to you guys, and it as I've watched interviews and stuff like that, if you're not in the scene, a lot of times.
Right.
Even explain it to the people that are in the scene fully. They just kind of, especially Dave, he loves to just kind of go, well, I don't know,
Right. It's up to you. What do you think? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, that was not explained to us. I had no idea what it would even look like. I mean, it was so cool to be able to read the words out loud and have that experience. And I could never have conceived of the magnificent way that they expressed that visually. It was just, I mean, that moment when Kanan makes the ultimate sacrifice, I've never seen colors like that in animation in my life.
Yeah.
It was astonishing what they did. And I was there when we recorded it, but I was able to 100% experience it as a fan organically just by taking that in. It was really truly incredible. So that was the cool thing, that we were able to be in it, but also be amazed by it when we finally saw it, and get to experience it as you guys did, as if we hadn't been there. Because in a way, it's nothing like what we imagined. So
yeah, that was one of the most powerful moments I've ever seen in anything Star Wars. Was that first? Nothing will ever beat that first time watching that episode where Arinda Price shoots the fuel cells and Kanan and Hera share that moment, and his eyes, he gets the clarity in his eyes, and it's super cool too, to experience that kind of vicariously through another person.
Right.
As I kind of mentioned earlier, right now, my girlfriend and I are watching all of Star Wars from beginning of the timeline to the end. So she's seen all the movies before, but not all the shows. So we finished Wars. We're going through Bad Batch, and it's been really cool to the big moments. Like, she sobbed during the 7th season of the Clone Wars, and she loves Bad Batch because of the sense of like found family. And I keep here, we'll just wait until we watch Rebels.
Totally.
It's super cool to experience it with people for the first time. It's
sure.
I was going to say, the impact as well on that scene is so starkly different from the general joke of when a Clone Wars episode ends, the symphony's there and the credits are there too, and it's like no matter what, but then the screen just turns white and it's over, and you just get
it. Chills
every time.
100%.
One of our patrons definitely wanted to ask, how was it for you dealing with the death of Kanan? Because I heard you talk about at the panel at ICC, not only did the character go away, but Freddie Prinze Jr. disappeared from the recording booth too. So you had a physical leaving of him. So how was that, like, not only like affecting your performance as an actor, but just as a person?
Yes, that was traumatic. But again, I've said this before, and for, sorry if anything I've said today is a repeat if anyone's heard it before, but Filoni said that he definitely chose to have this occur in the middle of the season because he wanted all of us to learn together, watching the Rebels chosen family get through a loss and experiencing grief. And he wanted the fans to go through that with the characters as well. He could have put it at the end of the season, but he chose to put it in the middle to let us know that we can survive grief, that we can get through things together. And so I really cherished that. And I think I focused more on the value of that as opposed to the tragedy. I was given a means to heal through the narrative, as opposed to just having to accept that, like, where's Freddie? What is going on? We all had to work through it, and we got to work through it together, and the language helped us organically do that. And it became sort of a joke, like, wow, okay, thanks, Freddie. He wanted to die, and we were like, okay, we really enjoyed hanging out with you. I guess you don't really like us anymore, but okay, it's been fun. Bye, dude. And we were completely messing with him. I think he wanted Darth Vader to kill him or something, and Filoni was like, but I think I was more shocked that he wanted to die. Most actors want their characters to live forever. Do you know, when, like in Rogue One, when I heard like, General Syndulla, please come to the, whatever it is, and you see Chopper, I'm like, she lives. She lives. She's not going to be killed. All right, bro. My life insurance policy, I'm good. Because I want to keep telling more stories. I don't want her to die. Maybe she's not in that far in the future. Yo, she's there. That's right. Look at that. Meanwhile, this dude is plotting his own death. It's like, you're the most abnormal actor I've ever met. No one wants to die. They want to keep working. What are you doing, man? But he is such a fan that I think he really thought that was a better story for his character, and he was right. Freddie's always right. We should have, no, man, he's always right. And we need to make bracelets. What would Freddie do? What would Freddie do? Because that dude knows what to do always. He's amazing.
I would love to get to meet him someday. It was so sad that he couldn't make it to ICC.
Oh yeah, I know. We were so bummed, but he was working on an independent film, and God bless him, he refused to let them down. So that's who he is. I think I've told this story before. We were going up to Skywalker Ranch, which is like, I was dying, and Skywalker Ranch, what? And he said, "Oh, sorry guys, I can't make it." Why, dude? Oh, it's pancake day at my daughter's school. There's no way. What? I mean, that's how much he loves his kids. Same thing. Like, dude is wired to care for the right things, and I just love that about him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't mean to sound heartless, but if it was pancake day at my daughter's school, I don't have a daughter, but I would be like, someday you'll understand when you inherit mommy's Star Wars collection that this is a hallowed day and you can eat pancakes all by yourself. You're going to be fine. Like, I don't know that I would be so like, nope, going to pancake day. But this dude, God bless him. I don't know. Maybe I would have said, sorry, I can't make it. But that to me let me know this guy is a great dad. And he loves his daughter the way daughters deserve to be loved. And her, she's a priority. And that's so beautiful. Nothing else matters. And that's awesome.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So which one do you want?
Do we want to do
Let's do this one next.
That's
a
cool one.
Obviously our show is way into the collectibles. This is like
oh hell yeah,
a huge part of what we do. And a lot of our community is based around new releases of action figures,
sure,
pops, different things. So we need to know, are you backing the HasLab Ghost that's coming out? The Hasbro Ghost playset that got revealed recently?
Is that the one from San Diego Comic-Con?
Yes.
Am I backing it?
It's like a crowdfunded thing. So their whole thing is they have like these really big projects that are like, we'll only make it if you guys really want to. So it's currently being funded by people. And
Shut up. I didn't know that. That's so cool.
It comes with Ghost and it comes with Hera. And then if they get like so many backers over their
11,000 backers is the next.
Then it comes with Ezra, and then you get a Kanan, and then you get a Zeb figure. Like to all come with.
Oh, that's crazy. I did not know that.
Well, it's huge.
Yeah, I saw it at San Diego Comic-Con. I was like, want that. So like, do I back it? I back that, 100% love that. But I did not know that when you say back that it's actually crowdfunded. That's amazing. That's so cool. I'll have to look that up and go support it any way I can. That is amazing. I'm very excited. There's a new Hera pop vinyl coming out in September. So we'll see how that goes. I look forward to getting a bunch of those. I have back here, there's Hera, Gamora, and Wonder Woman. I played Gamora in Guardians of the Galaxy cartoon as well.
That's awesome.
I think if the character's green, I've probably played her. She-Hulk, yes. Poison Ivy, yes. I have not played the Jolly Green Giant, but there's still time. So
that's awesome. I was gonna say, because you do have the clone helmet in the set, and you have the Funkos. Are you like a Funko collector, or do you just kind of like dabble, or?
Oh, well, I'm not in my Star Wars room. That's upstairs. Do you want to go up there?
That works for me.
That'd be crazy.
Hold on. Let's see how this goes. One sec. Come with me. Oh shit. Sorry. I said the S word. Sorry.
That's okay. We always allow one swear word every podcast episode.
Like a PG-13 movie. You can say it
Yeah.
once.
All right. Hold on here. Heading upstairs. Good times.
This is dope.
All right.
MTV Cribs with Vanessa Marshall.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully the Wi-Fi won't betray me here.
Oh my
gosh.
I don't know if you can see. there's like a lot going on in here.
Oh yeah.
There's all kinds of rando. Like, I think there's an Aura Singh somewhere over there. There's Talking Yoda. There's like Poison Ivy and some Randy, like Boba Fett's. And then this is another area over here.
That's dope.
That's so
All
awesome.
kinds of. So yeah, I mean, I normally do my interviews here. That's a closet, but
It's fine.
you know, I normally do my interviews here so that we can all, you know, see eye to eye. But
Oh yeah.
I'm so excited for this Twitch thing going on. I hiked like 5 miles this morning, and my hair is really killing me right now. But I'm a work in progress, so there's that. Good stuff. Anyway, so yeah, that's. I got a couple things.
A couple.
Many of those are gifts from people I've met. Oh, there's a Hera figure. These are gifts from people. Just a little porg for you. Gotta love these guys. They're gifts from people,
Oh, John, John.
you know. Yeah, gotta love Gentle Giant. I love me some porgs, right? Very cute. Anyway,
Awesome.
so yeah, it was fun Zooming in the pandemic because a lot of us would like do what I just did, and you know, we would be like, "Come into my Star Wars room, come into mine." Like, anyway,
That's dope.
yeah. So that's what I would show my daughter as I left her to go to Skywalker Ranch. I would say, "Listen, mommy needs this." Yeah.
So in Star Wars Rebels, you get to face one of the most prolific villains, in my opinion, Mr. Admiral Thrawn himself.
Oh, so
So-
scary.
What was that like, being able to bring a character that is very beloved by OT fans from like the novels, like bringing him into Star Wars canon? How was that?
That was terrifying. Well, first of all, I never met the actor because he was in Europe. And so I really was traumatized by watching it. I had no idea what he was like vocally. I had no idea. But when I watched it, I was like, that guy is traumatizing.
Okay.
Like his eyes and this no. Yeah, no, he's terrifying. But in the moment, I just had to kind of imagine what that might sound like, and nothing could prepare me for his performance. It was incredible. Yeah.
So you never really got to hear how he sounded, or like
No.
you never like performed with
Mm-mm.
each other? It was just like pre-recorded?
Yeah. And they edited it all together. Yeah.
That's
So,
crazy. If you
mhm.
can't tell, he's kind of like my guy. So
He's 100% the guy. He's terrifying and so shrewd. He really plays the long game.
I gotta love
he
the
is-
Halloween music that comes behind
Yeah.
him in every single episode.
Oh, that organ music's terrifying.
It's great. I love it.
So scary. So
Mhm.
scary. Yeah.
That's really cool. I always had this idea that it was like, whenever you see like any behind the scenes, like say like from the Clone Wars, where it's like everybody's in a room together and they're all like
Yeah.
passing lines back and forth. I never would have imagined that he was just chilling in Europe the entire time, just like, "Hi guys, I'm over here."
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, you know, it was just easier to record him from there. So, you know, so be it, I guess. I don't know. Kind of sucked, but I mean, because well, in the sense, sorry, I don't mean to be vulgar, but I think it would have been amazing to have met him, or at least dialed him in live, to have interacted with him. But it's not always possible given where people are. You know, you just have to kind of make do. I mean, Lando Calrissian, I got to interact with him, but I never met him in person. I loved punching him. I loved watching that as well. I got to see, you know, once that was fully executed, like, oh my God, you know, dying. I'm thinking of Cloud City and that's probably why he made that choice to help the rebels, is because he owed me one. I'm just saying. Yeah. Yeah.
That's neat. I was going to say, we even had the opportunity a few months ago to speak to Mark Thompson, who does the voice acting for Thrawn in the novels. And he did sampling for us like as Thrawn, but it was just like, it's just menacing when you hear it.
So how cool was it to see Cad Bane in Boba Fett?
Oh man,
that was wicked,
dude. Like the Western vibes. So slick. Dude comes up. Oh God, that was good.
I will never understand. Like, it's like we talk about it a lot because we really, really try to see everything positive with Star Wars.
Yeah.
I will never understand the hate the Book of Boba gets. That show was so good.
So good.
Oh, Book of Boba. I mean, for me, in terms of what we got to see in that, I mean, it was like soul food. I loved it. My favorite was Andor. Of all the content that was released in the pandemic, if you will, Andor was next level.
Yeah, that's something that we said on the show too. Is we were looking at the lineups for shows and be like, "Oh, the Andor show's coming," but that's not a big deal. And like at episode 1, we were on the edge of our seats the entire time, like, we need more Andor.
Oh yeah. I was late to the party, so I got to binge it. Oh wow, that was awesome.
Yeah,
couldn't get enough of it. It was just spectacular.
Yeah, that was like the dark horse of all the Star Wars shows, because there was the hype of Obi-Wan, there was the hype of Mando season 3, and then there was the Andor show. And like Jackson said, that was for us. Like, I was so enamored by that show. Like, I would stay up because on our time zone it's 3:00 in the morning when
dude
episodes come out. So we would
get after it,
stay up till 3 to watch Andor.
Of course. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we have do we want to ask the question about the sandwiches?
We need to.
We'll leave that. That's the finale. Okay. That's the finale.
Right, so
okay.
So a couple more questions here from
Sure.
Members of our Patreon. This one comes from one of our patrons, Commander Bly, says, "What is your absolute favorite thing to do in your off time? What is it that brings you joy and reminds you of how wonderful it is to be alive?"
Martial arts, boxing, MMA. Yeah, MMA fighting. If I can get 50-yard line seats to any New York Giants game, sorry if you're an Eagles fan, but
Steelers.
Okay, I respect Jerome Bettis. The wheels of the bus spin round and round. They do. I bow down. But I am a New York Giants fan, and I do. My goal. I'm praying that I get to go to New York Comic Con this year, and I think Buffalo is playing. And my favorite thing. I'm not a garish individual who's just like burning money, but 50-yard line seats. It's worth every penny. Yeah.
This Saturday, Jackson and I are actually we're going to our first NFL game. It's the
what? Yes.
For a preseason.
Great, dude. Enjoy.
Growing up, I was one of those kids that was like, video games are my life, and I don't really care for sports. And it was like 2 years ago, like a switch just flicked in my brain. I was like, I like fishing and football now. So it's like, I don't know. So
that's
I'm
cool. Yeah. I love the New York Giants. I grew up going to Rams games and Raiders games with my dad. I really wanted to be a quarterback, and he broke it to me that was highly unlikely. That was not cool. I have a really tight spiral though. I do, but had to let that dream die. And but so when I moved back east, I turned it into a passion for the New York Giants. So could have gone either way, man. They're in Princeton, New Jersey. I could have gone to Eagles or Steelers or,
It's like, glad you didn't go to Eagles.
Yeah. There's that. Yeah. I know my mailman is a Cowboys fan, and he's all the Yeah, there's New York Giants gear all over my garage. I box in my garage, and he just, every time he hands me the mail, he's like, I'm like, look, Romo's your problem, bro. I don't know why you're blowing your air at me. I had nothing to do with it. It's inches of failure, just like inches of failure. Sorry. But yeah, so I do love boxing, and I like hiking, and I love physical activity, lifting weights, doing yoga, all kinds of stuff like that. And of course, going to movies and, seeing new Star Wars content at all times, please. Yeah.
Speaking of movies and new Lucasfilm stuff, did you go see Dial of Destiny in the theater?
No, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it. How about you? Did you?
Oh, you don't want to ask him how many
7 times I went and saw it.
Woo! Nicely done.
I was raised on Star Wars and Indiana Jones were like my two things. Because as a kid, I was like, Harrison Ford is in Star Wars and Indiana Jones is like awesome.
Yeah.
He was like one of those people that really inspired me to like be active, go outside and like explore.
Yeah.
So it was like
that was right around when my dad's surgery happened. And so I was like on nurse duty and not going to a movie. I missed Mission Impossible. I missed that. I missed a lot, dude. I got to catch up. Yeah.
Like the digital on the 29th of this month. So.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to hash that out then. I will need to discuss it. Yeah.
Did you catch Barbie though?
Yes, I caught Barbie. Yes. I mean, this whole pink situation had nothing to do with it. That was a very, very fun movie. It's funny. My friend who had, of course, already seen Indiana Jones, already seen Mission Impossible, and every other thing that I've missed in that time frame that was not great. But it was like either Oppenheimer or Barbie. And I'm like, bro, my dad almost just died, and I don't know if I can think for 3 hours. Can we just go eat popcorn and watch a lot of pink stuff happen? And so we did Barbie, and I'm glad we did. It was a great experience. I love that movie. It was definitely spoke to the complicated. I don't know what it is. The human struggle of dealing with gender issues and the responsibility of men and women and beauty and all kinds of things. I'm grateful that they were able to lift all that up in such an irreverent, lovely, fun way.
Oh, yeah.
That, and to see the little girls there with their parents, and they were all dressed up in the pink, like anything that brings us together as a culture, I so celebrate. And that was just fantastic to see. But yeah, I'm still mourning the loss of Indiana Jones and having not been there opening night, etc. So whatever. Yeah.
But do you want me to get into this one question?
Yeah.
Here? Okay. So this one, I haven't read this question yet. I know these guys have, and it's a longer question, so I just want to make sure. Okay. So it says, when family members, old friends, and people that you knew before you were famous get really excited to talk with you about the amazing projects you've been involved with and the other industry folks you've rubbed elbows with, what's that experience like from your point of view? Have you had to develop controlled responses, both verbal and emotional, so as not to hurt the feelings of someone who's totally geeking out on you? Or is that something you were able to handle in a natural or casual sort of way?
Whoa, I've never experienced that.
Really?
No. Well, not at all. Like when I go to NYU graduate school reunions, they're always like, and Vanessa, whatever it is she does.
what?
Yeah, no, for real. They're just like, what do you do again?
That's wild.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, it's a lot of Star Wars, so it's not like I'm sitting there going like, okay, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I'm so great. I'm not, that's not really what's going on there. And I'm not like minding what I say because I'm so embarrassed. I'm so successful. Not at all. I mean, and I'm talking about Billy Crudup was in my class, Robin Weigert, all kinds of, John Connolly, Kevin Carroll, who was in The Last of Us. or no, not The Last of Us. He was in, oh my gosh, he's been in a million things on HBO. Anyway, but what I do, I'm more invisible, right? And my high school friends that I've met with, they see stuff on social media and they're like, oh, that's so great that you're talking to kids at events. That's so sweet. You know, they're not, I don't need to like tone it down to not hurt their feelings. Like, I don't think many people understand what it is that I do, that I used to know. And some of them, their kids are Star Wars fans. At ICC, my best friend from high school was there and her kids were there, and they were, Star Wars fans. So they knew exactly what was going on. And we were just like high-fiving each other and like, yeah, bro, that's so awesome. But I haven't had that experience. I mean, maybe if I were some on-camera actress and so hugely visible that I needed to really, wear a mask to go out in public or something, maybe that would be my experience. But I think most of the time I'm trying to explain exactly what it is that I do for a living. They're like, will you read English out loud? Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah. So I know. But I have not had the experience of anyone fangirling out on me or anything like that I'm aware of, unless they tucked it so far under and were feigning ignorance. Mm-hmm. Maybe, I don't know. But I mean, that's not why I do this. I have always said in many podcasts that I love stories. I love telling them. I love how it brings us together. I love how meeting you guys at ICC, we were just like, yeah, that we, like, I don't know you very well, but I feel like I do know you, and I have known you, and I will know you. Like, that's just how Star Wars family rolls. It's just what happens. I can't explain it. And it's magical. And I feel so lucky to be a part of the community that is so positive and aware and conscientious. And, of course, every fandom has sort of its dark elements or whatever they are, but those are really on the outskirts. And at the heart of it, there's so much love. And my favorite family is the Rogue Rebels. They cosplay as all the Star Wars Rebels characters. And I just love that they did that together to do something as a family. And I met them at WonderCon 2014. And we've been friends ever since. And in fact, I think we're having dinner in a couple of weeks. And I've made friends with different people through podcasts. And anytime I'm near where they are, they come to the con and we hang out. And life is good. It's ever expanding. And if my friends I grew up with don't understand that blessing, I don't even know how to put into words how lucky I am. You can't put a price on that feeling of community and really just undying affection that we have for each other, that it just is so healthy and lovely. So anyway, I try to explain it to them, but they kind of don't get it.
That's a really good response. I mean, that's not what I was expecting, but I do fully understand it. The cool thing though, that I really want to touch on that you mentioned was the idea of Star Wars being a family thing and being a community thing. My dad and I are both members of the 501st costuming group.
Strong, bro. Who's your character?
Mine is ARC Trooper Blitz. He shows up in he has 2 lines and probably a total of 36 seconds of screen time between 2 Clone Wars episodes.
I was going to say it's Clone Wars. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. He's the yellow ARC Trooper.
Yes. Bro, what?
Yeah, and then my dad has been a member for almost 20 years now. He has a Commander Bly costume from Revenge of the Sith. He's got a Senate Commando from the Clone Wars show, and he's working on a Shore Trooper from Rogue One. So
coolest dad ever.
It was a super neat family experience to be able to share my dad's passion and kind of spend the time with him and create the armor. And now we can do things like troop together. And it's even cooler now because now Jackson is working on
Yes.
ARC Trooper 5s.
5s is my costume right now that I'm doing. Actually, if I get it, I'll be the second person in the world to do it. The guy who's first in the world is in Australia, and he actually just sent me a bunch of pieces to help finish mine so I could be number 2.
Look at that. Look at that. I mean, that is just so cool. That's what we do for each other. I just love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's so cool. And again, I know for all three of us, we did an episode it's one of my favorite episodes of our podcast. We did a Father's Day episode where we had our dad sit down on the show with us. And I know we've shared countless stories of just that experience.
Sure.
One of my favorites is when my dad took me, my sister, and my cousin to go see the Clone Wars movie in 2008. And then he took us across the street to Target to go buy our favorite Clone Wars action figure.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. I want to keep my stream family friendly because I love that, and I would love for families to be able to come and play games. I don't know that it's going to pan out with some of these ladies. Like it might get a little aggro at points, but my goal is to really continue in that spirit, because that is so cool. I just love that. I love that, really.
And it's uniquely Star Wars. In my opinion, there's no other fan base that has that connection that Star Wars
very
has.
much so. Very much so. We're very lucky.
For you,
Yeah.
what got you into Star Wars in the first place? Because me and Jackson, because we're brothers too, we have the same story. Our father introduced it to us, and the whole collection room here is a joint effort between me, him, and our dad, because he's our main enabler for all of this.
I love it.
He's on fire about it just as much as we are. So we got the flame from him. Where did you get your flame from?
Well, I saw the movie. My aunt took me to see the first film, and I was done for. I mean, Princess Leia is so awesome. I tried to make my hair like hers every day. I had like donut holes on the side of my head and like was trying to just be like, get this walking carpet out of my way, like fly boy. Like I had all sorts of quippy remarks for people. And as you can see, like this chick was just like, at one point her hair was in buns on the side of her head. But anyway, it was the first movie that got me straight away. And I saw that strong female character, and I just thought like, that's who I want to be when I grow up. And furthermore, the way Luke was given this challenge and he stepped up to the plate, and I thought, that's what it's all about. There's that one moment, that divine moment when we have that grace to choose a higher path, and I gotta do my catalytic converter, whatever the hell he says, like these excuses that we think we have to stay in the ordinary, and he rises to the challenge. And that part of the hero's journey is just something that I treasure, watching him lift himself up. And I mean, by the end of the movie, I was like, oh, I want to be a better person too, his journey throughout the films that followed, and his forgiveness of his father when he could have killed him. I mean, that's the deal right there. That's the deal. Even if he has every right to murder his father, he doesn't, for the highest good. That's it. That's what's up, Anyway, I go off. I really, it was the first movie, and I have been just hungry for more and more content ever since. And luckily, it's a great time to be a Star Wars fan because there's tons. So, yeah, life is good.
So I think this brings us to our last question of the day.
The most important.
Okay.
The most important question you're ever going to
Let's
get
go.
asked.
Okay.
We asked this to Mark Thompson, and we're going to ask it to you. And if we ever have another actor or anybody that's worked on Star Wars, they're going to get this question.
Great.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Not really.
I'm in agreement.
I mean,
why?
Well, because the bread is joined.
Mm-hmm.
What about subs?
But you go to Subway and they call that a sandwich.
but the bread is slit in half.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I know hoagies, they cut it down, they put the Philly cheesesteak,
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, a sandwich comes together. For me, a sandwich doesn't do this. This is like a Hot Pocket. This is a calzone. This is a bun embracing some meat product. I feel like, listen, I'm a huge fan of the turkey sandwich. Don't underestimate it. The turkey sandwich is vital to my existence. And I'm sorry for any vegetarians out there, but it heals me. And so if I were to like be in a quandary of which sandwich I were going to have for lunch, whether it's a turkey sandwich or a hot dog is a different spiritual awakening. So I just wouldn't refer to it as a sandwich.
That's like
I think
the
you
best.
converted him.
I think you might have changed my mind because I always said a hot dog was a sandwich, but you're right. If you think about eating a hot dog, the bun is like the vertical, you know, like, but if you were saying a sandwich goes together.
That's just in my mind. Because if you think about the sandwich, it has so many properties, right?
Yeah.
You've got the meat, you've got your cheese, you've got possibly some mayonnaise or some mustard, you've got the crunchy lettuce, you've got the onions, you've got the tomatoes, you've got sometimes even alfalfa sprouts. I don't know what you're doing. And I don't know if the bread is toasted. There's so many things that create this multi-level experience.
Right.
That hot dog is like it just doesn't. I mean, no, listen, when you go to Chicago and you order a hot dog and it's got a pickle and all this other stuff going on, there's a lot happening there. Like that's a tough call because there's crunch and there's sweet and there's sour and there's
Does it make it
I'm
a
gonna
wrap?
go what?
Does it make it a
No,
wrap
that's
then
not
if
a
the
wrap.
bun's
That's not
going
a wrap.
around?
It's not a wrap. No.
No, it's not a wrap. It's
So what
not a
is
wrap.
Hot dog is its own
Gave the
thing.
perfect
No,
explanation.
what is it? Is a hot dog just a hot dog, or does it have like its own food category, or is it just this Prometheus on its palace?
I think it's a solo mission. I think it's a baseball game thing. It's a religious experience at a baseball game that's got nothing to do with the sandwich department. It just doesn't. Like in a deli, even at Subway, do they have a hot dog? No.
You are spitting facts right now.
That's crazy.
I mean, like a sausage thing. It's just, but I wouldn't call a hoagie a sandwich necessarily. It depends if the bread is cut or not. If it's in a big bun and they just sliced it open, I'd be like, bro, you're doing the love child of a hot dog and a sandwich there. A little bit.
Interesting.
Yeah. We do appreciate your answer.
I'm enlightened. I feel enlightened.
I feel like reformed.
Well, I do like to eat a lot, so
Eating's fun. Yeah,
I care.
That's funny. We did end up asking, we have this as like our fun question just because when we were going to do our interview with Mark Thompson, we had to pre-send questions that needed to be approved. And we thought it was the funniest thing in the world if we just threw that in there with these complex Star Wars questions.
Sure.
And this person reading it was like, what?
And they approved it.
And they took out
they did approve it as a question.
I asked what version of Thrawn did you like better? The one in the Heir to the Empire books that are now Legends, or the canon Thrawn books? Which one did you like? And they took that, but they left hot dog in. So I was like, okay.
Wow.
So,
Well, yeah, I'm grateful to have had a chance to figure that out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
thank you so
Right
much.
on. Yeah, man. Thank you. And hopefully we can hang on Twitch and on live stream. And I guess there's a Discord thing too. I'm slowly getting it together. I mean, people who watch me try and play Metal Gear Solid for the Metal Gear event. I had a PS3 here. It was a lot of pyrotechnics. There were a lot of technical snafus. At one point, I think I played Street Fighter and I was so excited that like I threw the PS3 or something and the whole transmission went black and I was like, shit, what did I just do? I get into it, I guess. So anyway, I'm trying to like pad the room so that we don't have any issues moving forward. But yeah, it's coming together nicely. You've got the Hera with the banana. You know that story, right?
No.
No.
Shout out to my friends out in Toronto. You know who you are, Toronto. What you doing, eh? Yeah. Okay. So a lot of times I'm the mom, right? Everyone's hungry, and you can they're doing their best acting work, and then you can hear their stomach go, and I'm like, hold up. I go in the kitchen, I get everyone bananas, I feed the group. That's my jam. If you're hungry, I can't relax. I need you to eat something, because that's not cool. What if you get hungry? No, you need to have a banana. So, and I'm not a mom, I don't have children, but in this regard, I'm very nurturing, I suppose. So, Steve Bloom, being the playful Zeb dude that he is, Steve sent me this GIF or GIF, depending on where you're from, but I call them a GIF. And that's a whole other debate. I think GIF is the correct answer, but I know I don't want to get into it. The sandwich, a hot dog, a GIF, a GIF. So he sent me this thing of a stormtrooper with a banana. And that became our thing. And I contacted the artist, Stephen Quick, this great guy in the UK. I said, dude, do you mind if I put the stormtrooper on with a banana on some shirts and send them out to fans, my friends in Toronto? And I've sent them to various different people all over Florida, all over the place. And so I printed these T-shirts with the stormtrooper with the banana. And he said, well, I'll do you one better. I'll paint you a portrait of Hera with a banana. So that's what that is down there.
Hilarious.
That's
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of born out of my catering skills. And yeah, so that's got a backstory. It's kind of like an inside joke with the cast.
That's hilarious.
Mama Hera, she's making sure your blood sugar is doing okay. If you need a Capri Sun or, some pretzels. I don't know what you need, but you might need something. So I care. And I have most snacks in my bag. I'm ready for any emergency. Again, I'm not a mom, but I've got wipes. I've got turkey jerky. Everyone's like, Nessa, I need a Kleenex. Not a problem. Here you go, kid. So it gave me a chance to be a mom somewhere on the planet. So
that's awesome.
Added bonus. Anyway, well, it was great to see you guys, and thank you so much for having me, and thank you for your patience. My dad is doing great, and I'm so grateful.
That's all that
matters. Life is good, and we'll hang somewhere somehow. And so this will be the first of many conversations. So thank you for starting it.
Mm-hmm. And thank you for agreeing to come on and reaching out and just being at ICC in general. Yes. And being as cool and inviting as you really are, because especially for meeting somebody that you look up to, and somebody that's part of something that you deem is part of your life. It's Star Wars isn't just it's not just a thing for us. This is it makes us who we are, and it's gonna push us through the rest of our life. So especially meeting someone that has had a direct part of that sometimes is intimidating, but just you came out before the line even started and you were handing out stickers and stuff. It just the tension, it was awesome. And it was it meant the world. So again, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. May the force be with you always.
And also with you. Sure. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the 1313 podcast. Please, if you enjoyed it, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, Patreon. All of our information is linked down below. Also, make sure that you check Vanessa out on Twitch when she starts going live.
Oh yeah.
And Vanessa,
buy the candle.
Yes, buy the candle.
That's right. On the merch store, look for it. That's right. Vanessa Marshall 1138. It's same as my Instagram handle.
Awesome. Do you have anything else that you want to plug before we end it?
Well, you can see the 4th season of Harley Quinn on HBOmax. I play Wonder Woman on that. And let's see, the Diablo game just came out. And there's other stuff that I'll be announcing soon. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Van Marshall. And there's a Vanessa Marshall fan book page on Facebook if that's where you hang on socials, but I'm mostly on Instagram and Twitter and Twitch. So
awesome.
Come say hi.
All right. Well, thank you again so much. And we will see you guys all next time.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.